Hello everyone. Today we're learning Bobekama Daf Kuf Aleph. It's 100 page into Bobekama. Big moment. Says the Gemara, Tonu Rabbanon. Rabbanon learned, Anoisen Eitzim Lacharash. Someone who gave wood to a carpenter, Lasos Mem Kisa to make a chair. Also Mem Safsol, and he made a bench. Safsol, he gave the wood to make a bench. Also Mem Kisa. So a similar case to like the Mishnah where he did what we learned early on, that someone did the wrong thing. So he has to pay because he's koine b'shinui, because he did the wrong thing. He's like a gazlan. So all he has to pay is the wood, the price of the wood that he gave him to work with. Rabbi Yehuda, we give him a knas because he did the wrong thing, and we say if the going up in price, now the wood's worth £10. Let's say he asked for a chair and he did it, but the guy did him a bench. So now a bench is worth, let's say, £100, and the expenses of all the materials to do the work is £20. So if the going up in price is more than the cost of the items that the carpenter used, all he has to pay is the £20 of the items he used to make the bench. But if the expenses are higher than what the price went up in value, all he has to pay is what went up in value. So whatever he loses, this carpenter loses, he gets the least paid. So it's a similar machloikes, like when he asked him to paint it red and he painted it black or black and red. Rameh agrees, he gave him wood to make a nice chair, he made an ugly chair. He gave him wood to make a nice bench. He did a bench, but ugly bench. So then you say like Rabbi Yehuda, because that's not called a shinui, it's just the ugly one, it's not considered a whole different item, and therefore it's not koine it, and therefore if going up in value is more than the expenses, he pays him only the expensive. But if the expenses are more than the going up in value, he gives him the what went up in value. The Gemara says a shaila, yesh svach samonim al hatzemer, ein shvach samonim al hatzemer. Is when someone, Rashi says, kloima chazusa milsa yulav milsa. A color in a garment, when you paint a garment, the wool into a color, is that something or is it not considered something? And we're going to see, the Gemara is going to discuss exactly what cases our shaila, and then we're going to understand maybe a little better what exactly the shaila is. So the Gemara, what are we talking about? Ileima de goza samonim, that the guy stole paint. Paint is like, they used to make it from like seeds or something. So he stole these seeds, v'dakinu, and he grinded them, v'tarunu, and he put it in the water. He mixed the grinded seeds into the water, and now it's paint. V'tzova bohem, and now he painted with them his wall or whatever. Tepu klei mishum dekalinu b'shinui. When he made it into powder, he's koine b'shinui, so he's a gazlin, and he has to pay back what he stole. What's a shaila? So the Gemara, tzricha, I need the shaila in such a case. The goza samonim, he stole these seeds, his paint, shrimp, that already, a guy, Reuven, had this paint already ready to paint, already grinded, already in water, and someone stole it. The tzavabu, when he painted, what's the din? Yeshvach samonim al gabe etzemer, is it considered that this wool that he painted, the wool has a shvach and it has mamoshus, do'omalei, that Reuven will tell Shimon, Abli samoni de shakolti, you took my paint, I want my paint back. Or maybe there's no, it's not called something, now that this wool is painted in a certain color, there's no mamoshus to it. Do'omalei leslach gaboy veloy midi. And the Ganem will say, you don't have anything I don't have anything of yours by me. Oh, it's painted. Paint is not a mamoshus, it's just a color. Says the Gemara, obvious question. Amri v'iein shvach samonim al gabe tzemer, even if there's no mamoshus in a color, mi moti omalei. Can the Ganav tell the Nignav, Lesach Gaboy Veloimidi, you don't have anything by me? Namely, the Nignav should say, Avli Samanoi Dev Sedetinu. Please give me back the paint. I had paint, now I don't have paint, I want my paint back. So the Moralachki, so no, let's learn the other way. Ein Shvach Samonim al Gabe Tzemer. If there's no mamoshus to the paint, therefore boy shlumele, he needs to pay because he stole paint, pay back paint. There is a mamoshus in this painted wall, and the Ganav could tell the Nignav, here there's a mamoshus, here it is, here the wall, the painted wall, let's say in color red, here the red, take the red back, shaklinu, take it, here, take it back. So what does that mean? Shaklinu b'mai. How will I take only the paint back without the wall? So the Gemara shakli b'tzofun. There is tzofun we learned already earlier. It's something that takes paint off. It's like a tziton or something like that. So take it off with tzofun. So the Gemara tzofun avurim me'ever. It will take off the paint from the wall. But there's no giving back because it will just take off the wall. But you don't have the paint in a bucket anymore that you could give it back. So what type of ashava is that? We're talking about the Godal Tzemer, the Samonim Dechad. He stole wool and paint from Reuven, from one person. And now Shimon, the Ganav, painted the wool that he stole with the paint that he stole. And now he's giving back Reuven the wool. So the shaila is, yes, it's called, now that it's painted, it's called, it has a mamoshus, this color, so when he's giving back the wall, he's also giving back the paint. Or maybe, there's no, it doesn't have a mamoshus, he's giving him back the wall, but he's not giving back the paint, because that is giving the painted wall back, is not considered giving any paint back because it doesn't have a mamoshus. So the Gemara Amri Shaila, the Bnei Yeshiva asked the Shaila on this. How could this be the Shaila? Teipuklei da Eiker lineale bedomi. L'chera, he stole wool worth £10, and the paint is worth £5, and now he painted the wall with this paint, so now it's worth at least £15, and now he's giving back the wool, and he only owes them for the wool £10 and is giving back wool worth 15, so that £5 extra, that's for the paint instead of paying back the paint, so all good, what's the problem? So the Gemara law, Tricha, we need the Shaila in a case, the Zol Tziva, that the coloured wool went down in value, and so let's say the wool is worth £10, and the paint's worth £5, and he painted the wall with this paint, and now the wool is only worth £12. So the shaila is, does he have to pay those £3 extra or not? And that's the shaila if yesh shvach samonim al gabe tzemer, if it's called a mamoshu, so he gave back the wall painted, it's like he gave back the paint, and if ain, so it's like he never gave back the paint, and therefore he has to add those £3 from his pocket. That's one way of understanding the shaila. The Iba is saying another way of understanding the shaila. So I'm going to go with the first pshat in Rashi, that he stole the paint and a monkey and painted the monkey with this paint. Now the monkey is not worth anything now that he's bright red or yellow or green. So the monkey is a good ashova, but the shaila is on the paint, is a good ashova or not. If yesh shvach samonim al gabit tzemer, it's a good ashova, because it's like a mamoshus, and if not, it's not good ashova. That's another way of understanding the shaila. Ravina Omar, Ochem Askinan, another way of understanding the suffix of the Gemara, if yesh shvach samonim al tzemer or not, is talking about Gegun the tzemer dechad. Reuven has wool, the samonim dechad, and the paint belongs to Shimon. V'ko'osi koif, and a monkey came off the tree, v'tzave la'u tzemer ba'anach samonim, and he painted Reuven's wool with the paint of Shimon. Now, no one, nor Reuven, not Shimon did this. Ma'isa, monkey came and did it. The shaila is yesh shvach samonim al gabe tzemah, if there is a mamoshus in the painted wall that's now painted, so he could say do'omale avli samonim de gaboch ninu. Shimon could say, I want my paint back. Here, it's by you, it's on your wall. Pay me for them. Or Dilma, or maybe ein shvach samonim al gabe tzemah. It's not called that there's a mashoshus in it. Do'omale. And Reuven could say, Lesach gaboy klum. That that's painted is not called they have something of yours, it's just a color. So that's a shaila. So the Gemara Toshma, come and listen. Beged shetzova beklipi or a cloak that someone painted with the peels of orla. So orla are fruit that the first three years from when you planted them, you're not allowed to use them. It's also by no, you're not allowed to eat it, you're not allowed to have a no. And this guy painted his jumper with peels of a fruit that's orla. Idolek, you have to burn it, you have to destroy this cloak. Alma, we could see Chazusa Milsi, you could see that Yesh Vach Samonim al Gabe Tzemer, because if there wouldn't be also about no, it's just paint, just a color. Elamai, we could see there's a mamoshas in it. So the Gemara Marova, no, it's no right. Anoa nearly naim osro Torah. In all of the special chiddush that the Torah says that anything that's you get, any joy that you get from it, even that it's just a joy for your eyes, that's already called something that you're not allowed to have a no from it, like we're going to see from the pasuk. And therefore, by Allah, it's einochanami, you have to burn such a cloak. But in other things, maybe there's no mamoshos. The Tanya that we learned in the Brayse, it states in the pasuk, "Arelim lo yoichal." It's talking about Arlo. Only ele isachila. We only that's lo yoichal means not to eat. Minayin shelo yehenem imenu. They shouldn't enjoy it, have enjoyment from it. Velo yitzva boy, and he shouldn't use it as paint. Velo yadlik boy saner, and he shouldn't use it as a candle. Tamud lo imav araltem or loso is puri arelim lo yoichal. It says many lashonis of Arlo. So it's the rabbi says kulum, the special chiddush in the Torah to tell you that all of them are also, doesn't matter not only to eat, not only even painting and also using it as a fire. So the by all of the special chiddush Torah, but in kol Torah kula, is it called a mamoshus or not? So the Gemara Toshma, come and listen. Beged shetzovay beklipi shvis, a similar case. He took a jumper or cloak and he painted it with peels of the fruit of shvis. That's after a certain time, you're not allowed to have a no from it. After it doesn't exist in the field anymore. Idolek, you should burn it. So the Gemara, Shiny Osam, over there is also different. The Omar Kro, Tiye, it says about the fruit of Shvis, of Shemitah, it shall be. Ba'avayosatibe, they should be as they are. Meaning that in any condition that they are, if they left longer than when it's in the fruit in the field, when the animals finished, let's say he used apples to paint. So when there's no more apples on the tree and the animals ate all the apples in the field, you have to destroy it in any existence that it is. So it's a special chiddush in Shvis, but it's in other places maybe not. The Gemara is not poshet the shaila. So the Gemara on the base, Kufalef on base. Rava asks a stira tnan. It says in one Mishnah, Beged shetzovay bekilpe orlo idolek, what we learned on Amud Aleph, Alma Chazusa Milsa, we could see that Chazusa is considered something. And now Tosis straight to explain that we have to be Goris over here, Rabba, or on Amud Aleph Rabba, because on Amud Aleph, Rava Lechora said a teret that Orla has a special din, that it says a special posik to tell you that it's also even to paint. So there's no shaila, what we're going to see the shaila is going to be. So Rava Tosis has two teretim, but one of the terets is that one is Rava and one is Rabba. Okay, so we see over here that Lechora Chazusa Milsi, because you have to burn this cloak. Berimine, and I have a shaila, a revis dam. So there's a din that a revis, it's amount of blood from a dead person, it's metame ba'oil, anything in the house, together with this revis dam becomes tome. So revis dam shenivle b'bayis, that got swallowed in the house, it spilt on the floor and it got sunk into the floor. A bayis tome, the bayis is tome, anything that's in the house becomes tome. The Amrulan, some people say a bayis Torah, the bayis is Torah, veloy pligan, there's no machloikes. Why not? Hobekein and davu meikara. If there was a keli in the house when the blood spilled in the house, that is tome, because when it got spilled there was a revis, and therefore it's tome. But kelim that were there only afterwards, after it's spilled in the ground and got sunk in the ground, observed in the ground, they are Torah because the blood doesn't exist anymore in the house. It's observed in the floor. Nivlo beksus, if it got, this blood got soaked into a cloak, roin im ischabesas aksus, if you wash this jumper, let's say, and the amount of reverse of blood comes out of it when you wash it, so that means there's still existing in this cloak a reverse, because if I could wash it out and it comes out reverse, it means that there's a reverse still in it. Tmel. So you have a reverse over there, it's tome. It'll tame anything in the house. V'im lav. And if not, if you won't get out the blood, a reverse, Torah, anything in the house is Torah. So the shaila is, if a reverse of dam got poured in the jumper, even if you can't soak out now reverse dam, only less than reverse, if chazusa milsi, if color is something, so you have here color of a reverse dam and it should be mitame. The Lashon of Rashi is very nice. אף על גב דחזוסו דרביס עיקר, שאדם שנשאר בבגד, שאי אפשר לסויכתו, Rashi says, because there is paint of blood of a revis, it should be tome. If chazusa, if color is a thing, it has a mamoshes. So it's a stira to what we said about Orlar. Says the Gemara Teretz, Omar Rav Kahana, mikule revi shonu kan. It's talking about sofek revis. Why? What are we talking about? B'dam tevusa derabonon. Because like we said, a reverse dam is only mitame if it's a reverse dam from a dead person. And here, this reverse dam is a sofek reverse, because we don't know if it came from a dead person, but we don't know if the blood came out. Maybe the whole reverse came out before he died, and maybe this reverse came out after he died. So we have a sofek. It's b'chal a sofek if it's proper dam that's mitame or not, and that's why we are makel. Only if you could squeeze out a whole reverse, otherwise we're makel, even though the reverse touched the beged. So we don't have a kasha. Rav asked another shaila. Tnan, we learned in the Mishnah, Mimina Tzoivim. So Tosfos explained at the beginning of the Mishnah over there, we say over there, Klal Godol Omru, we said a big rule. Kol shu machal odom machal be'imo mimina tzoivim. Anything that people eat, or animals eat, or it's a type of something they use for paint, for coloring. So mimina tzoivim, and then it says sviche sitim v'koitzo. It's types of trees or bushes they use for paint, for coloring. Yesh loim shvis. Have it in shvis. It's hefka. You're not allowed to sell it, and you're not allowed to keep it after there's no more in the field. So that means yesh loim shvis v'ledmeim shvis. If you sold it, the money that you get for it also has kedusha shvis. Yesh loim bir, when the time that there's no more of these sviche sitim and koitze in the field, you have to get rid of it. V'ledmeim bir. If you sold it, so the money has to get rid of it when there's no more in the field. Alma, we could see eitzim yesh b'im mishum kedusha shvis. L'chora, it's very clear. These things, these paints are not fruit. The pieces of wood, they make paint out of it. And so we could see, if we say that it has shvis, we could see there's kedusha shvis for wood, not only for the fruit. V'reminu, and I have a shaila, alei konim, leaves of bamboo, ve'alei kfonim, and leaves of the grape tree. Shegivavom b'chob al pnei hasodeh, they hid them, he made a pile of them on the field, and to hit them for the winter days. So depends. Liktom le'achila, if he collected them and put them over there because he has a plan to eat it, or maybe for his animal to eat it, yesh b'im mishum kedusha shvis. There is a din shvis on it. and you're not allowed to keep it after it doesn't exist anymore in the field, and you're not allowed to sell it. Le'etzim, if you took it to make fire, it doesn't have Kedusha Svius, and you could sell it, you could do whatever you want with it. So it says over here that trees depends what you're planning to do with it. And before we said that for paint, it always has Kedusha Svius. What's the difference? It's a stira l'chora. Umeshani, and Rava answers, Omar Kro Lo'ochlo. It says in the pasuk of Shemitah, V'oyo Shabbos Oretz Lochem Lo'ochlo, to eat it, that Shemitah you're allowed to eat the fruit. So we darshan from that, B'misha Ne'oso U'biyurei Shovim, that Shvis is noyeg on something that when you enjoy it, that's when you consume it. So food, when do you enjoy an apple? When you eat it. When is it consumed? When you eat it. It happens in the same moment. Yotzu eitzim, but wood they use for fire, that shana awesome, that the enjoyment from the wood that you use in your fire, achar bi'uron, is after it gets burnt, because first it burns and then it becomes into coals, and the coals are the ikar nor that you have from this wood. So it's no nechlal it's not nechlal in Dinei Shvis, because Dinei Shvis only applies to something that at the same time that you consume it, that's when you enjoy it. But when you use firewood, the enjoyment happens after, when it's consumed. And b'masha'en came, by paint, when is it consumed? When you put it in the pot together with the wool. And that's also when the enjoyment happens, because that's when the wool gets painted. So it happens at the same time. It's like food. And therefore, Shvis is noig on it. There is wood they use for fire, but not for firewood, to use it as a candle. And then, when it's consuming, you're enjoying it, because the light happens when it's getting consumed. So in such a case, Shvis should be chal. Then also that the enjoyment and the consummation is together in the same moment. When someone takes wood for fire, he means is not chal on it shvis, because it's mainly meant for, most times you take wood, you use it for firewood, not for using it as a candle, and therefore, because firewood, the consummation and the enjoyment is not at the same time, it's not chal on it shvis. But and then Rashi explains, but the paint, the sfiche sitim, is the stamp for it. The obvious thing that you're going to do it is meant for painting, and painting, the consummation and the enjoyment is at the same time, and therefore it's chal on it kedushas shvis. Shkoyach everyone.